Hey guys, it's Sloan. Welcome to another weekly yoga video. This time, today's going to be all about legs. So we're going to fire them up. We're going to use a lot of strength from our calves, our hamstrings, our quads and psoas all the way up into your core and do a bunch of poses that focus on that. So we're going to get stronger, get a little bit more flexibility in that strength, and work on stability for a while, and then we're going to wind it down and stretch them out. So let's get started on your mat. Child's pose, toes together, knees wide apart. Sink your hips back towards your heels. Chest comes down, reach your arms out long. Forehead comes to the mat, and start to breathe here. If you remember last week, we talked about the Ujjayi breath, the warrior breath, the exuberant breath. You can hear it, it's audible. Start to come into that here in your child's pose. So send your breath up into your entire back. Fill up your whole entire rib cage and then empty it out. Take a minute to just come into your body here and breathe. Press up to your hands and knees, wrists directly over your shoulders, hips over your knees. And as you inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze, lift your heart. Exhale, tuck your tailbone first and round your back one vertebrae at a time. Head drops last. Inhale, start with your tailbone, curl the spine up, lift your heart, lift your gaze. Exhale from the tailbone first, start to curl up into your cat pose. One more time. Breathe in, open up into cow. If you know why this pose is called cow, please let me know, because I certainly don't. Come back to neutral spine. Set your toes and lift your knees about 2 inches off the ground. Breathe here. Engage your core, engage your arms. Check out your hands. Make sure your fingers are spread wide apart. You're pressing through the triads of your fingers, which is between your forefinger and your thumb. So your knees are still about 1 inch or 2 off the ground here. And you're going to get light on your left toes and lift your foot up. Set it back down. Get light on your right toes. Lift that foot up just a little bit. Set it back down. Left side. Down. Right side. Down. Inhale, send your hips high. Heels reach toward the floor. Open up your stance if you need to. Downward facing dog. This is your first down dog of the day. So check in with your shoulders. Slide them down your back so you open up the space in and around your neck. Engage your core so that your belly lifts just underneath your navel. Drop your head, shake it out. Big breath. All right. So inhale here. Your right leg high to the sky. Bring it forward to meet your nose. Inhale it back. Exhale with the strength of your belly. Bring it forward to meet your nose. Exhale it back. Inhale, bring your right knee to touch your right elbow. Exhale it back. Inhale, bring it across underneath your body, right knee to left elbow. Inhale it back. Set that leg down. Breathe in deep. Exhale long. Inhale the left leg high. Bring it forward to meet your nose. Crunch it up. Squeeze it in. Exhale it back. Inhale, bring it forward to meet your nose. Squeeze it in. Exhale it back. Inhale, right knee comes to meet your, left knee comes to meet left elbow. Exhale it back. Inhale, bring it underneath across your body. Left knee comes to right elbow. Exhale it back. Stretch it out. And set it back down gently next to the right. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Exhale long. One more time. Breathe in deep. Exhale, let it out. Inhale, roll forward to plank position. Exhale, send your hips high. Inhale, roll forward to plank position. Exhale, send your hips high. Inhale, look forward between your hands. And at the bottom of your exhale, that means when you've emptied everything out, you can walk your hands forward or walk your feet forward to meet your hands. You can take one step, or you can bend your knees, look forward, and float up. Toes together, heels are apart. I'm going to come forward to meet you and take my jacket off now because I'm a little bit warm. It was freezing. So, spread your toes apart as far as they will go. Fan them out and press your pinky toes in first and roll all the way in towards your big toes. Root down there and start to press the outer of your legs apart so you can have room to drop your tailbone under. Lift your shoulders up high, roll them back and down. Tadasana, mountain pose. So here you are at the top of your mat in mountain pose. We're going to inhale high. Exhale, tuck your ribs in, sink your hips down. Chair pose. Now here in chair, you're going to look down and see if you can see your toes in front of your knees. You shouldn't have your knees in front of your toes, but most of your weight should be in your heels so you can actually lift up all your toes and then set them back down. Breathe here. Lift your chest even more. Tuck your tailbone even more. And then drop it down 2 more inches. Smile. Get light on your left toes. Lift that foot up 2 inches off the ground. Hover. Set it down. Get light on the right foot. Lift it up 2 inches off the ground. Set it down. Big breath in, open up your chest, it feels good, you love it, you're loving your legs. Breathe in, exhale, sink it down 2 inches. Check in your tailbone here. You don't want to be popped up like this, but tuck it in, scoot it back. Exhale, fold forward, it feels so good. Release, rest. Spread your legs apart isometrically. If you need to, bend your knees and hang so that your spine is long and your head is dangling soft. If it feels good to you, you can grab opposite elbows here and hang. If you need a little bit of a shoulder stretch, clasp your hands together at the base of your tailbone and start to bring your shoulders up over your head towards the floor. Draw up your neck. Let it out. Shake it out. Hands come to the ground. Step back to plank. I'm going to skip a vinyasa here, so send your hips high, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg goes high. Bend your knee so that your heel comes towards your bottom. And I'm actually going to do the other leg so you can see it better. Heel comes to your bottom. Open up your hip. Lift your knee towards the sky. Twist. Look under your armpit and see if you can see your foot. Give a little ankle circle here. Give some hip circles with your lifted leg, both directions. Straighten that leg back out. Square your hips, your foot still lifted. Bring it forward to meet your nose, crunch. Step that foot forward in between your hands. Square your hips off here, so pull your front hip forward, your front hip back, your back hip forward, so that scissoring action that we did last week. Straighten your back leg so that it's completely straight, completely engaged from your hip flexor, your psoas, all the way back, your hamstring, your quad, into your calf. You're high on your toes on the back foot here. Front leg, knee is parallel to the ground, and it's right over your ankle. Inhale, lift your arms, look up if you like, crescent lunge. Here, bring your hands to your heart center. Take your right elbow, twist to the outside of your left foot, your left knee. And here, again, you want to use that scissoring action of your hips to pull your hips in line, and then use the strength of your arms to open up the twist from your upper spine. Make sure your back knee is straightened. Mine was starting to bend. And then I like to fly my arms open because it gives me a little more twist in my chest, a little more opening. And I can use this arm to squeeze in tighter against my front bent leg and get even more stretch in my hip. Breathe here. Every inhale gets your spine a little longer. Every exhale, you get to twist deeper. Set your foundation. Bring your gaze back to your front toes. Inhale, lift back up to crescent. Settle in. And start to bring your focus to your front bent leg. Keep your arms up. And on an inhale, you're going to press with the toes of your back foot and launch yourself forward, maybe, into warrior three. Square your hips off here. Lift your back foot even higher. Bring your hands to your heart center. Hold here and breathe. Smile. Maybe fly your arms. Whoop. If you fall out like I did, just come back in it. Maybe fly your arms out into airplane behind you. Engage the back foot. That's going to help you stay strong And then start to pull your right knee into your chest as you lift up and you're standing on your left foot. Center. Good. Well, from here, you're standing on your left foot, your right knee is lifted. Start to bend your left knee and take your right knee over the top. Maybe you take the full wrap where your toes come behind the calf. Maybe you just stay crossed like this. Either way. Hands can be heart center, or right arm comes underneath the left and clasp for the full eagle wrap. And here, bend even deeper into your knee. Fall out if you must. Breathe. Lift your elbows up towards your face so that they're parallel to the ground. Gives you a little stretch in your shoulders. Good, come out of it. Big full expression of your high mountain pose here. And fold forward. Release, rest, drop your head. Breathe here, come back to your breath. I'm sure you probably lost it on that, I know I did. Wonderful. Plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Let's take a vinyasa here just for fun. So come forward to plank. Either come to your knees and lower, or push forward, open your chest, lower down, flip your toes, press up, open up, upward facing dog. Roll over your toes, back downward facing dog. Lift your right toes high to the sky. Bring that knee, your heel to meet your butt. Open it up. Ankle circles, hip circles, whatever you need. Just open it up here. Straighten it back out. Reach that leg long and then inhale it forward to meet your nose. Crunch. Step the foot down. Find your scissoring action here so that you're firm in your foundation. Inhale. Rise to crescent. Settle in. Find space, find ease, find strength here. Hands come to heart center. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, left elbow comes to outside of the right knee. Find your twist. You like to fly your arms open, fly them here. Find the scissoring action in your hips. Use that to open up even more in your twist. Look down at your toes. Set your foundation. Inhale, back up to crescent. Get ready here, you know what's coming next. Inhale, find strength. Exhale, launch to warrior three. Maybe it takes you a couple steps to get there. Straighten it out. Engage the back foot. Hands come to heart center. Breathe here. Find more strength, find more stability. Fly your arms out behind you, shoulder blades down your back, lift your chest. Hands come to heart center. As you stand into your right leg, bring your left knee up towards your chest. Find a firm foundation here. Find engagement in your core. And again, start to bend into your right knee. Left knee comes over to take the wrap or to kickstand, either way. Good. Once you've found your legs, then you're going to take the left arm under the right, wrap around. Breathe here. Find your balance. Are you squeezing your toes into the mat? See if you can release them. Then, try and lift your elbows even more towards your face to find the stretch through your back shoulder blades. Breathe, smile, enjoy. Exhale, come out of it, reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Release, rest. Shake it out. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold even deeper. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold one more time. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Toes together, heels apart. Sink it down, chair pose. Open your chest. Bring your arms to cactus arms, like so. It helps you find a little more opening through the chest. Then you can start to reach your arms high again. Palms facing each other. Bring your hands to heart center. Good, hold here. Get light on your left toes, lift up, hover 2 inches off the ground. Start to kick back, again towards your warrior 3, hands stay Namaskara. And then start to reach your right fingers down towards the ground, about 1 inch diagonally in front of your pinky toes. Engage the back foot and open up. Maybe your left hand comes to your left hip. Maybe it reaches high to the sky, fingers spread apart. Maybe your gaze even lifts up towards your thumb. Half moon pose. Bring both hands to the ground. Square your hips. Then, see if you can lift your left leg even higher towards the ceiling. And again, standing splits, you want to keep your hips square. You don't want to be opened up like this. Keep your hips square. Fold in. Maybe right hand grabs right ankle to pull your face even closer to your shin. Good. Release your top leg down. Fold forward. Release. Rest. Inhale, rise high to the sky. Exhale, sink it down, chair pose. Breathe here. See if you can smile. I know you can. Cactus arms to find your chest opening, sink it down even more. Arms go back up. Hands come to heart center. Sink it down. Tuck your tailbone. Find strength in your left leg. Hover your right toes 2 inches. Start to kick that leg back. Finding your warrior 3 with Namaskara hands. Square your hips. Engage the back foot. Use use your hamstring, use your calf. Start to reach your left toes down to the ground, about an inch or a foot diagonally in front of your left pinky toe. Right hand comes to right hip, or maybe up to the sky. Spread your fingers wide. Lift your gaze. Open your chest here. Breathe. Both hands come down. Square your hips. Lift high from your inner thigh here. So your lift actually comes from your groin and your psoas, not so much from your glute and from twisting. But stay with your hips square and in line. Maybe your left hand comes behind your left ankle to pull you in even closer. Exhale, both feet down. Fold forward, release. Spread your feet apart the width of your mat. And here, bend your knees and sink yourself down in between your heels. And if you need to use a block of some kind here to sit on, you can always put it underneath your sit bones. But you're just in your Malasana squat here. Knees pressing against your elbows, elbows pressing against your knees. Lift your chest, tuck your chin. You can move from side to side to get a little release. Or just find stillness for a few moments. Reconnect to your breath. Let your gaze rest. Beautiful. Now here, just because I haven't done it in a while, and because it's a lot easier than a lot of people think it is, what you're going to do is plant your hands on the ground right in front of you, so your elbows are still touching your inner thighs, and then start to straighten your legs. This does take a little bit of flexibility, so if your hamstrings are tight, this might not totally work for you. Walk your hands back so that they're underneath and in line with your heels. They're underneath you, in line with your heels. Start to find chaturanga arms here. So notice that I'm opening my chest as I bend my elbows back and send my hips back so that they can rest on my elbows, on my triceps. So you're here, opening your chest, send your hips back to rest on your triceps. And then start to get light on your toes, and maybe straighten your legs and hold here in your firefly pose. And then come back down, stand up, release, rest. Plant your hands, step back to plank. We're going to take one vinyasa here. So push forward on your toes, lower down halfway chaturanga, lift up, upward facing, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the left toes high. Bring your heel, the plant, in between your hands. And then dial your back heel down so that the outer edge of your foot is in line with the outer edge of your mat. Find strength in your legs. Inhale, lift up to warrior two. Settle in here so that you're completely centered over your hips. Start to find some opening here. Inhale, reach back. Lift your gaze towards your palm. Exhale, left elbow comes to left knee, right arm comes up over your ear, side angle pose. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, find side angle pose. And notice here that as I move, my legs don't go anywhere. I can take this pose wherever I want without ever having to change my stance, which is awesome. So then, bring both your feet parallel with the outer edges of your mat. Find yourself centered over your hips one more time and start to hinge forward. So I'm going to come this way. So start to hinge forward over your hips, keeping your back flat. And if you need to stay right here, stay right here. This is your home. And play with, a lot of times when we're in our wide leg forward fold, we're dumping back here into our heels. And in forward folds, you want to be on your toes. So come forward on your toes. Try and press the outer edges of your feet down towards the mat. And keep your back flat. If you can go deeper, then go as deep as you can, keeping your back as flat as you possibly can. And try and spread your mat apart with the outer edges of your feet as much as you can. As if you were trying to rip your mat apart from the center with just your feet. Drop your neck when you need to. Breathe here. Bring your hands to your hips. Flatten your back, lift up halfway. Inhale the rest of the way up to standing. And then you're going to reverse your stance here. So your heels are going to come in, your feet are going to turn out so that your toes are pointing towards either edge of your mat. Your knees are in line with your feet here. And you can start to sink in to your knees. This pose, some people call goddess, some people call horse. I like to call it goddess. Cactus arms. So your hands are bent at 90 degrees. Roll your shoulder blades back and down. Tuck your ribbons in. Sink down even further. Perfect. Lift up onto the toes of your right foot. Set your heel down. Inhale, lift up onto the toes of your left. Set your heel down. Inhale right. Exhale down. Inhale left. Exhale down. Pulse for just a minute here. Settle in. Inhale. Come onto the toes of both feet. Hold. Breathe. It takes a lot of engagement, a lot of focus here, but it feels oh so good. Hug everything in. Set your heels down. Bring your hands to your knees. And just drop one shoulder and then the other. Drop one shoulder and then the other. Get a little stretch here. Perfect. And now you're almost in perfect position for Warrior Two on the other side. So keep your right toes where they are. Spin your back heel down so the outer edge of your foot's parallel with the outer edge of your mat. Sink in. Lift your arms, Warrior Two. Inhale, reverse. Open up your whole side body here. Exhale, right elbow comes to right knee. Left arm comes straight up over by your ear. Again, even though my arm is up by my ear, it's not, I don't have my shoulder up clenching my neck. I still have my shoulder blade pulled back and down, so I have freedom and space in my neck and my chest to open up. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. One more time, inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Beautiful. Bring both your feet parallel with the edges of your mat. Walk yourself a little forward so that your weight is over the balls of your feet. And again, you can start to fold in here, or you can take your hands into reverse prayer position behind your back. Squeeze the heels of your hands together and start to fold forward. Or, so many options. You can clasp your hands together again, roll your shoulder blades back and down, straighten your arms, and start to fold forward, bringing your hands up over your head, reaching towards the floor. And breathe. Release your head. Shake your neck out. Not using any muscles in your neck. Check in with your tongue and see if you're clenching it towards the roof of your mouth. Good, inhale, release whatever bind you're in. If you're in reverse namaskara, if you have the clasp, bring your hands down. Flatten your back. Lift halfway. Hands come to your hips. Lift all the way back up. And shake your hips out side to side here. Keep your feet where they are. Hands come to heart center. And start to bend into your left knee as far as you can. If you can, keep the toes of your right foot on the ground. If you need to, you can pull your heel up like so. And then press into your left leg and come to the other side. Skandasana. Press into your right, come to your left side. Inhale, press into your left, come to your right. 2 more each side. Inhale. Inhale to the right. Inhale to the left. Last one, inhale to the right. Beautiful. Come back up to center. Spin towards the front of your mat. Plant your hands. Step back straight to downward facing dog. Take a vinyasa if you so desire. Check in with your breath. Check in with your core. See if this down dog feels any more open than the ones at the beginning. Take a deep breath in here. Sigh out a long breath. Let it all go. Inhale, look forward in between your hands. Bend your knees. Exhale. And at the bottom of your exhale, lift and land softly. Halfway lift. Open your heart. Fold in. Inhale, rise high. Exhale, sink it down, chair pose. Start to lower your butt all the way to the ground. Lift your heels so you're balanced on your sit bones. You're in boat pose here, Navasana. And a lot of times you'll round your back here. What I want you to do is pull Your left shoulder blade back and down, and then your right shoulder blade back and down, and lift your chest. So your collarbones are open. Lift your toes, if you can, even more. Lower down so that your shoulder blades are off the ground. Your feet are about a foot off the ground. Chest is still lifted. You still have a smile on your face. Inhale it all the way back up to boat. One more time. Extend. Lower down. Hover. Inhale back to boat pose. Bring your knees into your chest. Hold on to them. And rock it back a few times. Inhale back. Exhale, come to balance. Inhale back. Exhale, come up to balance. Inhale back. Grab your toes or the outer edges of your feet. Bend your knees and start to pull them to the outer edges of your rib cage here for a happy baby pose. Feels good. Not going to do that one towards the camera because it's a little weird. But if you're in happy baby, start to reach your tailbone down towards the ground so that your spine is long. So you don't want to be rounded here, like I am now, but reach your tailbone down so that your whole spine from your neck all the way down to the end of your tailbone is pushing into the mat. Use your feet to push against your hands, the strength of your arms to pull back against your feet. Then stretch your legs out long. Get a full body stretch here. Take a big breath in. And a long breath out. Sigh it out. Let it go. Then bring your feet down so that they're planted on the floor in front of you, about hip-width distance apart. And roll up slowly in between your feet. Wonderful. So now, we're just going to stretch out here, wind down a little bit. So straighten your legs out in front of you, flex your toes towards your face, lift your chest, lift your arms, inhale, exhale, fold forward. Maybe you're here with your back flat. Maybe you can grab all the way around your feet. Either way, you want your back straight, your spine long, reaching from your tailbone to the top of your head. Then start to fold in and round. Breathe here in your forward fold. See if you can find more space to slide into every inhale. Exhale drops you into the space you just created. Try and take 4 breaths here. Long and slow and soft. And wherever you feel the most tension, maybe it's your lower back, maybe it's your hamstrings, maybe it's behind your knees or in your calves, send your biggest breath into that place. After 4 breaths, come back up. Bring your feet in front of you and start to open your feet up like a book. Press your knees down into the ground. Open your chest and start to fold forward, again with a flat back. Just come as far as you can. Find even more length in your spine and exhale, round it forward. 3 breaths. Come back up. Lift your chest. And since we're here, let's try and take a double pigeon. So this is actually my least favorite pose because my hips are very tight, even for a yogi. So what you want to do is you're looking to have your shins parallel with each other. So take your right ankle, and it fits really nicely in this space over your left knee. So just kind of sink it in there, fit it in, and then maybe this is where you're at. For me, I've got this big old space. Maybe this is even too much for you, and if that's the case, just bring either one ankle in front of the other so that both feet are on the ground, or really simple, keep your ankles in line with each other and line your heels up with the very center of your pelvis. So find whatever works for you. Some of you might be able to push your right knee all the way towards your left ankle, but don't force it. Flex your feet because it gives you more space in your hips. Lift your chest, and then maybe you can start to walk your hands forward. And here I like to kind of play a game with myself. I take a couple fingertip walks forward, and then I check in. I feel my right hip, and I see if I'm clenching anywhere. So maybe my glute, maybe my psoas, maybe that part of my abs that's right there. And then I check in and do the same thing with my left hip. And then I check in with my shoulders and then my tongue. Am I biting my tongue? A lot of times, if it hurts, I bite the crap out of my tongue. Or clench your jaw. And then I just walk it forward once I've released any more tension. And check it out. Right hip, left hip, shoulders, tongue. When you're ready, switch your feet. This side's much easier for me, so I can get pretty far pretty quickly. And when you've had enough, lie back, Shavasana. Take rest. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good week.